What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome to February. We're almost to spring. It's not completely frozen out anymore. So we're back to playing outside. And like the video title says, we went to an auction and decided to pick up a couple of toys. Got us two of these mini excavators. They're two different sizes. The one over there is a 12 and this one's a 15. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this stuff unstrapped and then get into it and see what we gotta do to get them fired up. Alright, so that's one down. I'm going to use this one to unload that. Maybe this if we can get it without getting into the hydraulics. That is a fork set for the mini skid steer. This is a 4-in-1 combo bucket for the mini as well we picked up. And then we got that plate compactor also. The keyhole and the ignition is frozen on this. So I need to heat the key up to get it in there. Looks like there might be plastic in there, so I don't want to just burn it in there. And see if we can get that to melt out, or if I can get something warm on it, get it to melt out, so we can get this one unloaded. But now I'm going to work on these two if I can grab them. So I got my other fork on, it popped off, then I got this stuff loaded. We're going to park this for a minute. Make sure it fits on here good. We're good to go. We get that other fork on, we're just going to use it to load the rest of the stuff. People online said these things are pretty jerky.
like a high dollar machine. That's why it's not one, but it operates pretty good. There's modifications you can do to make everything smoother. If you're patient with it, you can move along real nice. Get this parked out of the way over here. I guess I could turn up the throttle. Maybe that's why we're moving so slow. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there it is, down by my foot. It's on the other machine, it was up top, so I'll show you guys here in a minute. When we get these unloaded, I'll go over both of them, but we'll go ahead and get this fork on and get our new forklift put to work. Well, I'll tell you what, that made things a lot easier. That's gonna come in handy, a lot. All this stuff's gonna come in handy. Now, as you could probably imagine, this stuff's small. These machines are small, so you really gotta watch weight on them. Going down the ramps wasn't so bad. As you probably saw, it took me a minute. I don't want to get crazy with it, and you're sitting up so high, but I didn't really feel like it was gonna tip. We just had the bucket out as a safety precaution, and we'll do the same thing with this one. If you're not familiar with the equipment, take your time. They are jerky. You accidentally bump something or you push something too hard, it's gonna go. So keep that in mind if you haven't operated before. Even if you have, you want to get on this thing being used to larger, nicer piece of machinery. But I wish we had longer ramps to make that a little more stable, but those will do okay. But so the 12 over there so far hasn't felt too bad. Like when I picked up those forks, I didn't really feel like it wanted to go. I bumped it forward and then it kind of did, but that was all the way extended. And those forks probably, I think they weigh 300 pounds. That's what they state. So 300 pounds all the way extended. It did rock a little bit. So if you're looking for a reference, if you're going to buy one of these, you're probably going to want to work out counterweight if you want to pick up a lot more and have it extended. I think you could pick up probably 500 to 700 pounds if you don't have it reaching all the way out there. So, but again, and that's also with, I had it spun around with the blade front, so I probably could have bought a little more if I would have been operating the other direction and had the weight of the blade on the back. But at the same time, I could put that down and help with stability. So it depends on your situation. We'll see how this one does. I gotta look at the weight difference on them, but I mean, you could definitely tell that this 15 is a lot beefier. So we'll see. I'm sure it's gonna run into the same things. The tracks just aren't wide enough and long enough for real big heavy duty picking up.
A lot of people online said they were really, really annoyingly slow, but I don't know. I've rented a lot of miniature excavators, and they really didn't seem too far off from what you'd get from a rental place out of a brand name piece of machinery. So, but yeah, this little fork set here, we've been wanting to get one of these for a while for this thing. Now this, with that on it, as soon as I stepped off of it, I don't remember if it was in the video frame or not, but it wanted to go. It wanted to tip. It was teetering. So I think that bucket's probably another 300 pounds, and this is 300 pounds. So that was 600 pounds on the front. So you're definitely, if you're running one of these minis, and this is a mini, this isn't like one of the bigger 460s. This is a 380. So it definitely want to figure out. I'm thinking about figuring out a counterweight and bolting it under or on top of the platform. Trying to figure out what I'm going to use there. Add a little bit more weight just for the liftability. I'm not too concerned with the overall weight of the machine, but I am going to be concerned with that if we're going to be picking up and moving stuff around with it. I mean, 300 pounds is pretty good. If we get merchandising pallets, I think most of those will probably be able to get lifted off. And I had that bucket pretty high in the air too, so that's another thing to keep in mind there. When I brought it down to about here, it was a lot happier, but when I had it up here, that's when it wanted to go. It didn't need to be up that high. That was just getting it off the trailer. So there's our plate compactor. We will probably play with that on another day. I'm in this mess. I still got to clean up all that hydro fluid. But yeah, we'll get that out and play with it on another video. But now I'm going to go figure out how to get that ignition thawed out so we can get this blue one unloaded. And you'll get it offloaded, and I'll get them side by side, and we'll kind of go over the differences there. That way, if you're interested in them or interested in picking one up, I mean, I'll give you an honest review on it of 5 minutes of running it. So, all right, I don't know if you guys can see in there, but it's icy. So I'm gonna do it the old school way and warm our key up, stick it in there, and see if we get some of that ice out there without waiting. You don't want to burn in there directly, so. You also don't need your key cherry red hot either. Oh yeah, sizzles. There we go, we're in.
So got them both unloaded. Something to keep in mind, maybe bring a lower trailer if you can. I don't know, it did fine, but kind of sketchy. Probably the scariest part of this whole thing. But yeah, so after operating them both, I gotta say, if you have the choice between the two, I would go with the 15. And I'm not trying to upsell anything here, but this thing controls like a dream. I mean, this thing controls good, but it's almost like you got a lot of dead zone in the controls, and then you gotta kind of feather into it, or it's gonna get a little jerky on you. It's not bad. I mean, you just gotta get used to how they work. This one, they pretty well start going from the get-go, and they just kind of move into it nice and easy. Don't get me wrong, they're still a little jerky if you go ramming and jamming, but a lot smoother on a bigger machine, and it drives a little nicer too. But that's, I guess, what you get for buying a bigger, more expensive machine, so that makes sense. But I'm pretty sure as far as digging depth and bucket width and all in all, at the end of the day, what they can do, they're about equal. One's just going to do it better, that's all. It's not like the 15's going to do more than that 12 can, but that's just my recommendation. Also too, it's a lot nicer having, in my opinion, the sticks. Maybe it's because I'm just used to a traditional machine versus these. You see that it's a little lower, so you almost like have to bend over a little bit. It's not uncomfortable to use. I mean, it's fine, but yeah, that'd be my recommendation. If you can, which I'm sure the ones that are bigger than the 15 operate better than this thing. I just don't know, because I'm just a poor guy on a poor farm who doesn't get toys like these very often. So for me, this is freaking fantastic. Same thing with that mini skiddy over there, especially since it's got forks now. Man, my back might not hurt as much. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. Now, the one thing I do like on the 12 that the 15 doesn't have is the access. So you can lock this up and you pop it out, and you got access to the whole engine back there. And the fuel on both of them is through the top. So I imagine that's your hydraulic fluid over there. And I like this. I like the swing gauge over here. This is all pretty heavy duty, and I'm sure it's like that for a reason. But what we got in there, a little bit of counterweight. It's probably either counterweight or the tank. I'll have to check the weight on these. But your only access is through the top here, which they did give you a bigger access hole, and you can reach everything. You pretty well need to for normal maintenance and turning on the fuel and off and all that. So now, if you might have noticed, when I went to fire it up there, it kind of popped off and then it died, and I was dinking around for a minute trying to figure out what I had done. So these will not start if the hydraulics are not locked out. You don't have to be in the seats, no sensors, but the hydraulics have to be locked out. And when I turned this on and cranked it, I must have bumped it with my glove, but I unlocked the hydraulics, and that's why it popped off. So, but you probably won't have that problem if you're starting it from the seated position, but I was not. So just something to keep in mind. Check that before you go, like, oh man, was the fuel on or off? And then it's got little stickers on here telling you to turn the fuel on before you try and start it. One of them had the fuel on, one of them had it off, so just kind of check for that. But other than that, man, them things look snazzy. Maybe we could drag race them. No quarter miles, I ain't got all day. But I think they feel like pretty capable machines. I like how they got the little side teeth on here. Got your adjustable thumb on here, but you can get a hydraulic thumb. These do have the quick connects, the auxiliaries. So they've all got these little work lights, which is pretty nifty. Better than nothing. No, it's actually pretty bright. If I can, let's see here, if we can kick that on without the key. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to mention. Yeah, so the power kill is down there on that one, and up here it's over on the side. I couldn't see that because my leg was blocking it. Oh, I do have to have the key in the ignition. Stick that over. Oh yeah, nice LED off-road light there. Which I think it's using, it almost looks like a standard off-road light plug. You might be able to just throw on a bigger one or a splitter and put one on the other side if you wanted to. Oh yeah, look at that, there's even holes for the mount. So yeah, you could be running lights on both sides I would probably put some up top on the canopy or something though, some clamps and whatnot. Have that overhead light view so you don't got the shadow of the boom, but hey, light's light. I try not to do too much work in the dark. Blades seem to work pretty good. I had an issue with getting this one off, as you can see. So I didn't even realize I drug it that far. When they were loading it, the pallet broke and I didn't think anything of it, and that's the one they put on here sideways. So it was fighting, trying to, I pretty well had to destroy the rest of the pallet with the tracks. And then you see all these tracks here and get it spun around to get it off. Because they loaded me up with a telehandler, which was great. But yeah, so I did not realize I drug that far back. Oh well. I mean, I like to save pallets, but I guess it's a small price to pay. A couple other things. We got that plate compactor I mentioned. We picked up a couple of these leaf blowers, which are rated for 302 feet per second airspeed, and I think they're 900 CFM. But we're gonna be hanging on to one of those, so you'll probably see us use it. I got a lot of stuff around here to clean up, and a backpack blower would come in handy. I had a little battery blower, but we got a lot of property here. So, but I think that's it. What else did we get? Oh yeah, we got a set of tires in there too. Picked up a really good set of some 17s in there. I think there's some grabbers. Can't have too many tires, especially when you got a tire machine sitting in there. 16s, 17s. We'll throw those on everything and anything. But I think that's going to be it for this one. We might do a little bit more with these in another video, but for now, just kind of wanted to show them to you guys, kind of compare them a little bit with just, you know, someone who's never really messed with either of them. So there's my 2 cents, take it or leave it. But maybe we'll get some more of these through and can show off what they do. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this one. Remember to drop a subscribe if you like what you saw, and we will see you on the next one.